made a pressurized water tank for the truck. Here's how I did it. First thing you're going to need is a chunk of 4-inch PVC pipe, and you're going to want some schedule 40 for sure. It'll be the best thing to get if you're going to do this like me anyway. And what I got was a 5-foot chunk, and I got this from Menards for around 22 bucks. So 5 foot, and that's the length of the bed of my truck, and this is going to mount underneath the rack hanging down, so it's going to be kind of out of the way of everything. So that's the plan, so stick around. I'll show you the other stuff you're going to need. Alright, so you're going to need a couple of 4-inch end caps, a saddle bracket that you'll drill into the main pipe with a plug with a threaded cap for filling, and a spigot. This was a 1-inch spigot that I'll drill into the pipe. Then I went ahead and got a quick disconnect for the underneath, and a couple of 5 to 7-inch hose clamps. This will help mount it to the truck. Then I picked up a garden sprayer, which I can just put on the quick disconnect and store when I'm not using, real quick and easy. And I'm going to coat it with a can of black truck bed liner paint. It's really tough, durable, and then it'll help keep the water in the sun. And then you'll also need a threaded valve stem, and I got a little brass nut to fit it, and we'll put that into the pipe so I can pressurize it, and put this on the back side just to help. And I'll also be using some sealant as well to make sure it's sealed. So buckle up, let's rock and roll. First I'm going to mount my vise. So actually first I'm going to go wash this thing out. It's disgusting. Other things you're going to probably want is some PVC glue, primer, and possibly some like silicone glue, which I might need, or some seal-all. I recommend having this anyway for any occasion. I'm going to get a fresh tube to carry in my truck because this stuff's amazing for sealing anything. And a set of bits, and I recommend like some Forstner bits, like so, for PVC, and then you can carefully go in there without chipping it out. Paddle bits are a no-go. So find you some good drill bits, Forstners, or hole saw bits. That'll work great too. So, alright, I'm going to get set up here and get this going. And a drill. And one other thing I'm going to attempt on this is I have an extra valve stem. I'm going to take the valve stem core out. I'm going to drill my hole just to the inside size underneath the threads, and then I'm going to heat this up and see if I can screw it in hot and see if it'll seal like that. I think it will, and I think I've done that before actually. So if that works, that'll be great. I'm going to try that on a scrap piece of PVC first, and then that way it's kind of glued in, threaded in, and it'll be easier to seal up. That's the plan. So you need like a little valve stem wrench, and take the valve stem clear out, otherwise the heat will mess it up. That little dude. And it's just a brass fitting basically. So we can heat this up. I'm going to find a scrap piece of PVC, drill it, and see if this will thread in. So I've got a 3/8 Forstner bit. I'm going to just go into the end of the scrap chunk. Just go nice and slow. There we go. That should be just about the diameter. Perfect. It's already wanting a thread in there, so I think this is going to work. Let me grab my torch. Of course, a heat gun would do the same thing, but this is just faster. I'm guessing that's pretty hot. Alright. Turn that off. Oh yeah, she's melting right in there. I think that's crazy enough to work. Alright, so now in theory that should be threaded, so it's cooled off, and indeed it is. So now all I need to do is seal this and thread it into the pipe when I'm ready to install. And I think for the air valve I'm going to do right in the top of the cap, the fill valve, so if something goes wrong, it's easier to replace this little piece than the whole pipe and damaging it with the valve. So, cool. There we go, threaded to the pipe. And I'd recommend a heat gun. I think I'm going to use that when I do it, because she really got hot and burnt it. So here we go. Alright, so now we're going to go out and see where I want to mount this on the truck, and so it's not in the way of my fill valve or whatever. So I'll get you hooked up here. This is basically going to mount under here, and I'll have room for my valve fill port. Gonna work. Alright, cool. Alright, this is where I want this. I'm gonna go ahead and mark where I want the saddle to go. That'll be glued on to the pipe after I drill my hole. We'll mark that out. Do an AA. Pull this out, mark where the hole goes. There we go. So I'll be using an 1.5 inch Forstner bit for this. And get her drilled. Alright, now I'm just going to scuff up the surface here where the saddle will be going on. And give her a quick cleaning and glue it up. Give her a quick primer in here. Make sure we get a good bond. We're going to paint this anyway, so it doesn't matter if it comes out here and there. Okay. This just etches the surface so the glue bonds and melts into each piece. That's what this does. And this is an all-purpose cement for PVC, CPVC, ABS, all that. So it's general, pretty good glue. And then once we get the saddle on, we'll strap her on so it's secure. Go ahead and get the end cap on as well. Make sure you pull the stickers off on the inside. Get those out. You want that in your possible drinking water. Alright, so we're ready to glue up. Put some glue on here. Liberally. Glue on the cap. Pressed on there. Give it a little twisty too. Get an end cap on. Their little fill port glued in, primered. Press that on. Give her a twist. Hold. Sometimes it'll want to work itself back off if you don't hold it for a few seconds. It doesn't take long. Alright. They're good. Oh shoot, I didn't want to drip it on the pipe. Push that in. Press. See how it worked itself back up? I don't know if you saw that. You got to hold it for just a few seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. We're good. Doop. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to flip it around. And I'm going to flip this upside down to where that valve is flat on the bench. And that'll tell me the exact opposite side for where I want my spigot. Right here on the end. Now just using my carpenter eye, I'm going to find center of the bottom of the pipe. Basically there. I think I want to mount this as close to the end as possible, like so. So what I'm going to do is drill this, get it, heat it up, get it in, and then glue my cap on so I can clean the inside of the pipe off before I, you know, you don't want to put this on and then you can't get to all the junk. So let's do it. So this spigot is considered a 3/4 inch, but you'll need a 1 inch bit for the hole to screw into. 3/4 is the inside diameter on this. So what we're going to do, drill a hole, we'll heat that up and twist her in, and once it cools we'll twist it back out, and then I'm going to go ahead and use some seal all and seal it really good, and then thread it back in, and then we'll let everything dry before we pressure test. This heated up, I decided to just use the torch, and we'll just do the same as our experiment before. This is long enough I can hold it by hand, but you don't want to get it too hot so you don't ruin anything on the inside mechanism, the ball valve. Alright. Feel that's getting plenty warm. She just threads right in there. Take her all the way down. Awesome. While that's cooling, we'll go ahead and drill our 3/8 hole for the air valve. We're just going to eyeball center here. There we go. Alright, now we'll do our valve. I already took the valve core out. This is the newer one. Plenty warm. Just thread that right in there. Like so. I almost grabbed it with my bare fingers. Alright, we'll let that cool. That actually threaded in there so clean. If you wanted to, you could put a nut and neoprene washer on this back side just to help seal it up even better. But we'll see how it does. So now we'll do the same to the valve stem. Try to keep her as clean as possible. Just thread that in. Just take her all the way down to tight as well. There we go. Alright, I'll go do some other stuff. We'll come back in a while and check it. So once everything's operational, this quick release valve, then I can just take my hose on and off as willy-nilly. It's gonna be sweet. So I think the only really thing that I didn't end up using is the little brass nut for the valve stem. I don't think I'll need it, so that's cool. Alright, it's been a good hour and a half. I'll go ahead and put Teflon tape on this fitting. Giggles. Get it screwed in, then we'll give her a pressure test. And I'm only going to do 25 pounds and see how long it holds it, make sure it's groovy. I'll probably come up with a wrench so I don't have to hand tighten it all the time. So, alright. So I backed the compressor off just to 20 pounds of pressure. That's all you really need. Make sure my valve's off. Good. So just put 20 pounds of pressure in and then we'll keep an eye on it. You don't really need more than that. Otherwise you're just creating a bomb. I think max pressure on these end caps are 25. That's what they recommend. They're just test caps. Oh, got a leak. Yep, got a little air leak there. Well, I'm just going to put more sealant around and we'll just leave it overnight and check it in the morning. So I guess I would recommend, yep, there's bubbling right there. There's maybe a nut and grommet on the inside. This will work. I've used it before. Alright, it's been actually 24 hours. So let's see if put some pressure to this. See if she holds this time. I'm only doing 20 pounds. That's all you really need. Alright. I'll just let that sit. So far I hear nothing. And I'll check it in a couple hours and see if she held air. Blew the leak again. Alright, I got her spun out. We'll go to plan B and I'll use a different sealer, I guess. Sometimes things happen. Finally. Alright, quick update. It's already been 2 weeks almost since we started this project. A few things I would have done different. Definitely buy the union fitting instead of the saddle. I had some leaks. I had to go back and seal up. The spigot I had to redo twice. Finally got it to seal. And maybe a different plug system. So all in all, do it completely different. Tried to do this on a budget, but I got her now, so we're going to get her painted up and try it out here later. Cancel that. I got a small leak, so we'll catch up with you later. Epic fail, starting over. Well, the seal failed again, so luckily I had enough room here to cut the cap off. And I'm going to go find a bushing and nut so I can seal it from the inside, just like a plug in a boat. You need to be, I'm fighting nature here too much. So luckily I got that in sealed up so far, and I've got enough room. I had to cut the cap off, so I'll have to get another cap. So basically, don't do anything I just did. There's better videos out there. I was trying to do this on an extreme budget, but now I'm going over my budget. But things happen, so it's worth a shot. Alright, bringing you up to speed now. It's been almost 2 weeks since we started this little project, and I believe I finally got it sealed up. So we're gonna go out and give her a coat of spray paint. It's been a challenge. I just finished up a new bow for a customer. That's what I really do. If you're interested, go to my about section and I have an email address there. Contact me. Once again, we'll be using the truck bed liner textured black paint. It's very durable. Alright, got her painted, kind of got it situated where it's going to go, and I put the straps on opposite of each other, so hopefully it'll kind of lock it in place. I also cut some rubber straps we'll place underneath. Then I got some small pieces I'll put on top where it hits. So we'll get started on that. First I'll just take out some of the slack, get it close before we put our rubber straps in. That's the plan. Now I'm going to maneuver these rubber straps where the pinch points are, I think. Yeah. Slip one of these small ones in between the pipe and the rail, and we'll cinch her up. Alrighty. Rock solid. Got a bow sprayed. Anyway, I'm gonna plan on carrying a clean 1 gallon water jug with me. I gotta go run and get a funnel. I can't find my good funnel anywhere, so once I do that, we'll fill her up and see how much she holds. Alright, I got a funnel. We'll fill this up in a minute, but I ran to the hardware store and I left the valve closed just for the few minutes I did that. Let's see how much pressure is built up with just the heat alone. Did you hear that? So I would recommend, if you're going to a high altitude, maybe not fill your tank completely, don't pressurize it, and maybe even put a bleeder valve, because this thing will be explosive probably if you go to extreme high altitude. Alright, let's do it. Alright, we'll start with our first gallon. It should hold 3 gallons plus. Should be nice. I hope we don't have any leaks. So far so good. 1. 2. 3. Pretty close to the top. We'll call that good. Alright, we'll get the cap back on. Nice and snug. Okay. So now I got my quick connect. I can just quick connect that. Done. Little shower thingy can hang right there. I've got my handy dandy little compressor. It's just a cheapie, but it works good. And I can use my R600 Power Pack from ALLPOWERS. I'll share more about that later. I haven't really had a chance to do anything with it. Power's on. Yes, yes. All right. £20, probably plenty. Let's check it out. Awesome. Oh, that's gonna be sweet. Alright, well, it's almost a failure, but we made it work. Yeah, I like it. Yep, I'll share more about this ALLPOWERS. Actually, I'll go ahead and leave the link below in the description. You can get a discount on that right now. They sent it to me. They sent me another solar power panel, solar panels, and I really haven't had a chance to try it out. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this. That was sure a struggle, but we got her now. I'm definitely going to do it different next time because we're going to be doing it to the bus. I'm going to do the length of the bus, and we'll have plenty of water when we build that out at a later date. But there you go, folks. Pressurized water tank. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. It's got some range.